Hello everyone, this is Frank Ochoa, aka the Pivot Boss, and I wanted to talk to you about the Premium Pre-Market Report, specifically the short-term section in the Premium Pre-Market Report, how to read it, how to use it. So this will be a quick video here to show you how to do that. Today was a perfect day for it. You look at 10/09/13, that's October 9th, 2013, and you see the short-term section that I have here for gold. And usually what I try to do with the short-term section is give you a quick trade right out of the gate. So I try to give you either a short-term range to watch for directional bias, or I give you a pivot to watch for directional bias, and then I give you a couple of key targets above and below price. So whichever way price goes, you have key targets to play to. In this case, this was a special case this morning. I said it seems the high of the day is in for gold at 23.30, and that indicates more selling ahead. So I gave you an idea, okay, we should only be looking at downside targets. So if gold remains below the 1650 pivot, look for price to reach 1301.60 and 1294.40 as the downside ADR targets. Of course, we always have to be prepared just in case price doesn't do that and heads higher. Above 1313 would suggest a retest of 16.5 and 21.4. So where am I getting these targets? I'm looking right down here to the key levels matrix. So on the downside, here's 1301.60, that's your primary 75% target, and 1294.40 is your full range 100% ADR target on the day. That's how I got those downside targets. The reason I didn't put 1308.80 or 1308.90 as the 50% target is because at that time price had already hit that level and was sitting just above it. So we're playing to the next two down. On the upside, I said if price gets above 1313, then that would suggest a move back to the 1316.5, which is the next key level above, and then 1321.40, which is that next, right here, 1321.45, that's the next key ADR bull target above. But of course, I only mentioned the short-term target because the overall trend is down. So in this case, if we look at the chart, here's your 16.5 pivot, here's the 23.30 high of the day, and here's about 6:45 in the morning, right about this zone right here. And this is when I said, okay, I think the high is in. If we hold below 1313, look for targets at 1301.60, and there we are. We hit 1301.60 right here, and then I say 94.4, and we got a little lower, and we hit 94.6, so we got within 2 ticks of the bottom target. So that's generally what you like to see, and that trade is usually right out of the gate. You know, what's price going to do short term right away? And right out of the gate, you know, we were down below 16.5. We were forming resistance here. You see the offers coming in at 1313. If we stay below that level, look for 2 downside targets to be hit. Now let's take a look at crude oil. In the crude oil section, I mentioned crude oil trading in a very quiet range during the RTH trading the prior day, and that indicates likely expansion. So given Tuesday's tight range, we could see decent range expansion today, Wednesday. So short term, watch 103.20 as support. A break below 103.20 suggests a move to 102.94 and 102.53. A break above 103.75 would suggest a test at 104 and 104.40. So I gave you the key levels to watch, 103.20 and 103.75. So if we look at the chart, this is this morning. I'm giving you this analysis at around 7:30, so price is somewhere about right here at this time. And you can see 103.20 had been a key support level. As a matter of fact, if you go back in time, 103.20 had been a key pivot overnight and in the prior session, and that's why I marked it as a major support level. We break 103.20, we likely see 102.94 and 102.53. 103.75 was the upside pivot here. We didn't even chance it at all, and instead, boom, there's the break, and there's the move down to 102.94, followed by a move right down to 102.53. So the 2 targets were hit right away, and it was a straight shot down. And remember, this type of move right here from 103.20 to 103.50, that's a big move. That's $700 a contract. Of course, this one continued going lower, and eventually hit 101.71 and 101.50, which were key levels. But the idea is, here's that short-term support. If we break it, look for those two targets. So the way you could play this is many ways. You could look to play a pullback and try to get short, or you can just place a stop market order below that support level and get stopped into the trade short. And that was the best way to go about it on this day. Now if we take a look at the ES today, let's take a look at the ES right here. View all sessions so we can see what happened overnight. And the ES, I say the ES got a sharp bounce off 46 low in the opening print after hours and rallied 12 points. 58, however, has become a key pivot to watch for further strength as offers continue to pour in at this level. A break above 58 suggests strength to 63. If 58 remains a lid, look for downside targets at 16.50 half and 46.75. So again, 58 is the key pivot. 58, 58. So if we look at this chart here, this is what I'm looking at pre-market. I'm looking at this picture right here. I mentioned 46 and a big 12-point rally to 58. 58 had been a lid the prior day, and it remained so throughout the day here. And I say, okay, here's 58. Watch 58. If we can't get above 58, we're likely headed down to 16.50, followed by 46.75. And we couldn't get above 58, and instead we dropped right into 16.50, followed by 46.75 on the low. The low was 46.75 here. Not the low of the day, but boom, boom, hit both targets and you're done. So now if we take a look at the NQ, here's the NQ after hours chart. This one had a nice range. So if we look at the actual report here again, we scroll down to the NQ. The NQ is holding above the Tuesday low of 44.25 and is forming a tight overnight range from 53 to 64. Use this range for early directional bias. 53 to 64. That means a breakout. When I say that, it means a breakout from that range and a hold. So if it breaks and holds, that usually leads to a move in the direction of the break. So a break above 64 should target 73.25, and a break below 53 will target 46 and 37. Okay, 46 and 37. So here's the break. There's 53 giving way. You can stop in at 53 with a stop market order. And there's 46. And there's 37 right here. And of course today is an extraordinary day where a lot happened. But again, short term, this is designed to give you a quick trade right out of the gate with key targets. And that was indeed the case today. So that does it for today's quick tip using the short-term section in the pre-market reports. Hopefully this guidance will help you use future short-term levels for quick profits right out of the gate.